Hey guys, so in this episode we're looking at an LG washing machine that's got a door that is stuck. So you might have yours that you pull the door handle and it's not opening. First thing you want to check is make sure you open the drain. So the filter is on the bottom right hand corner of your washing machine. It will be covered by a filter cap. So to open it, it's pretty simple. You twist it anti-clockwise until it all comes out. So when you pull it out, just check there's nothing blocking the pump there. Make sure there's not a lot of gunk in there. So one of the reasons why the door won't open is if the machine detects that there is too much water in the drum, it won't allow the door to open. So first thing you're going to need to do is check that there is nothing stuck in there. And then we're going to make sure you close it up. And then the next thing you want to do is on your washing machine, if you turn it off, unplug it for about 5 minutes, come back and then try to pull the door handle. And if you see it still not opening, it means either the door handle's broken itself or the door switch is not unlocking. But highly unlikely that the door switch is not working. Highly likely that someone's tried to open the door while the lock's still locked and then broken the door handle. So an easy way to tell that the door handle is broken is if you press the door handle and it's just knocking against the end of the door, it means that you've broken the door handle. So this is a video about how to open the door and how to change the door handle itself. So if you have that problem, you're going to need to have a couple of things for us to fix this. So the first thing you're going to need is a very, very thin wire so that you can open the door. So I've got one myself, which I'm going to use to open the door. So the thin wire, you sort of put it across the door near where the door handle is, where the door lock will be, and you pull it towards you just like that, and then the door will open. Good thing about that is you're not going to damage the paint on your washing machine, and you're not going to damage the door switch itself or the door mechanism. So just to do it again, put it in between the door and just pull it towards you, and that will open the door. So here you go. So that's still good, that's still working, but the problem is our handle is broken. So what you're going to need to fix that is you're going to need a number 8mm socket and a Phillips head screwdriver and a flathead screwdriver. So first thing we're going to do is we're going to take off the door from the machine itself so that we get better access to it. So if you have a look on the left hand side of your door, there is a hinge, and on the hinge there is two 8mm bolts that hold the door. So we're going to get rid of them. So that's that one and that bottom one. You might want to start with the bottom one. So there you go. And just put those screws somewhere where you won't lose them. And do the top one. Have your hand holding the door as well. There we go. So taking the door off is as simple as lifting the hinge up and pull it towards you. That's it. Simple as that. Don't try to force it or wiggle it. Just push it up and towards you, and it comes out nice and clean. So now that we have it off, we're going to work on the door and change the door handle itself. All right, so now that we've got the door off, maybe you're gonna put a towel underneath it so you don't scratch it, and flip it on its back like that, so that you can access the screws on the back. Now there will be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 screws holding the door together. So you're going to take your Phillips head screwdriver and undo those screws. So lefty loosey, righty tighty. So, and remember to put them somewhere where you won't lose them. There you go. So got them out. Now the next stage will be removing the door, pulling it apart. So pulling the door apart is pretty simple, not too hard. You'll need your flathead screwdriver, preferably a low profile one which you can easily put into a confined space. So let's see how we go. So pulling the door apart is pretty easy. You access the hinge. So on the side here where the hinge is, you flip it like that and insert your screwdriver in there and pull it up. There you go. So now that top bit is now easily detached. So just take your time prying it open. Just make sure, remember there's glass here, so there's need to do it on a nice stable surface so that you don't drop the door and then now you have more problems. So pull it apart. So you pull it up and flip it over. There you go. So the most important thing is to remember how everything was, so that when you put it back together, you can put it as it was. So the door handle is this bit here. So we're looking at that bit. That's the bit that's broken. So we'll take it off and I'll show you in a minute what's going on, what's gone wrong with that. So taking it, you don't need to touch the glass panel here. If you want, you can just put some tape here so that it doesn't move around and so that you don't have to try to figure out how it was. But there's a pin on these. So the pin that holds it in place is just over here, that pin. You just need to pull it towards you, pull it out. It only goes one way, so pull it out. And put it to the side, and then this should just all lift as one piece. And as I'm lifting it, just notice how that plastic is broken apart. So that's your door handle. So it's got missing bits there. That's why it wouldn't open. That's why when you try to pull it open, it doesn't open the door. So we'll put that to the side, and we're gonna put in our new door handle. Now I'll post a link in the description below as to where you can get a replacement door handle for your washing machine. These are pretty cheap, so just head on down on the description and get yours and save yourself a lot of money. So putting it back in is as simple as remembering what it was like. So we're gonna put first that plastic handle through like that, and then we're going to put the spring. So at this stage, what you want to do maybe is just take out the whole thing from the mechanism and have a look at your locking mechanism. There's a notch here. That's the notch where that will sit against this flat bit on the spring. Yeah? If you remember it like that. and then so it sits like that, and then your locking pin is going to go straight through there, and then it sits in there like so. I'd say take your time, have a bit of patience. You do it right, you do it once. So you put in the locking pin and make sure it goes all the way in. There you go. Perfect. There you go, it's in. So let's move in for a closer look. So if you look at that, that's how it's supposed to look like when you've got it in there. And the hooky bit, if you look on the underneath, is supposed to be facing to your left or outwards. If you did it wrong, you'll see soon enough. Alright, so the handle goes obviously under the glass, or over the glass, like that. And then now we're going to put everything back together. So it's going to be the reverse of how we did it. Now, as you're putting it all back together, one thing I'd like to say is that you want to make sure that you put in the hinge properly. See the hinge, this bit? So the hinge sits in there, and it sits like so. So it sits like that, because that's the inside of the washing machine. Alright, so it sits like that. If you put it in the wrong way, the door won't close and it won't attach properly. So let's close it up. So you can have a second set of hands helping you. This would obviously make it a lot easier because someone would just hold it for you while you do all these other bits. But at the moment, I'm working on my own, so if you don't have a second set of hands, you can do it on your own. Alright, so there you go. And make sure it pops into place. Everything should just pop into place. There's no need to grab a hammer and try to hammer it all in. It's just easily interlockable. Alright. Oops. Now see what I did? Dumb. Put it in the wrong way. Alright. So the hinge is actually supposed to go like that. My bad, sorry. So, like that. That's the hinge. And we'll close it up. Beautiful. Alright, there you go. Nice hinge. There you go. So the hinge should just be able to sit like that. Alright, now you're going to put back your Phillips head screws and make sure everything's sitting properly first before you try to screw them in. Otherwise you're going to, this is plastic, and plastic, if you force it, it breaks. Put it back together. So one thing I'd mention is if your washing machine has drain problems, it will not unlock the door properly. So you get an error code for that anyway. If you need to replace the pump, I'll post a link in one of these corners to show you the video for replacing that. So now that I've got my door back together, let's put it back on the machine. Right, so now that we're putting it back together, first thing you're going to need is maybe some Loctite, so the threads lock on the door hinge, so that it doesn't come loose over time, because they put it on the factory as well. So you're going to need some thread lock. If you take a trip to your local hardware store, they'll have some. So you don't need to put too much, just a little bit is enough. Just a, like a teardrop is enough. And then we're gonna put our door back on there. So putting it back is just as we took it off, we're gonna do the same thing. So just be mindful there's something in there that's holding the plate at the back, so don't move it too much, otherwise it'll slip down. So you start at the top and you push it down until you see the holes line up. Then you can put your bolts in. Now I'd say if you're using a gun, do them by hand first, so that you don't strip the threads. So, and then have your number 8 socket ready. And so do it by hand first. Okay. All right. There we go. Beautiful. All right, here we go. Nice and easy. And just test it by hand first. See how that's working nicely. That hinge is nice. That locking mechanism is now working nice and easy. So that's it. It's pretty simple. If you're having issues with your door handle, door not opening, fix that. Bit of plastic, fix that. All right, there we go. Nice. So if you guys have any questions, any issues, if you're unsure about your model, post a comment in the comment section below, and I'll be more than happy to help you out. Thanks for tuning in. Till next time, cheers.